Question 5, worth 9 marks. There are a number of structural isomers for the molecular formula C3H6O. 3 of these are propanal, propanone, and prop-2-ene 1-ol. The skeletal structure for the aldehyde propanal is this one. Obviously, the propanal is a aldehyde, has a double bond at the end of the carbons. Write the semi-structural formula for the ketone isomer propanone. So ketone is your double bond to O, and that's going to be in the middle of your carbons. And prop, that's pretty much what it's going to look like actually. So it's going to be CH3, then bonded to CO. This carbon here, 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds already on it. So that's fine. And then ending with a CH3. That's our semi-structure. Draw the structural formula for the isomer prop-2-ene 1-ol in the space below. Prop gives me 3 carbons. 1-ol means my hydroxyl group is coming off the first carbon, remembering to expand our hydroxyl, so therefore full structure means all bonds, so therefore the bond between the oxygen and hydrogen as well. And then filling in the gaps here. We need a double bond because it's 2-ene on the second carbon. This guy's got 1, 2, 3, so therefore it's going to have a single hydrogen there, and this guy is going to end up with 2 hydrogens because we've already got 2 bonds here. And that's our full structural formula for that one. Moving over the page, and we've got a mass spectrum. So the mass spectrum is from one of these 3 isomers. So first of all, identify the fragment of this. So this guy here is one that you'll see regularly, and this is going to be from a CH3CH2, because we know that carbon is 12, so 2 carbons equals 24, and then to get to that is 5 hydrogens. So therefore it's a common one that you see, so it's going to be this. The fragment that produced it must be charged, so therefore it's going to be CH3CH2 positive, and that's going to be our fragment that produced this peak here. You'll come up with you generally get an idea about some of these common fragments in mass spec, and 29 is a common one. Basically anything from, if you look at this is 15, then you're going to come up with an extra 14 each time you get another one there. So in this line, so 15 for our methyl, and then another 14 for an extra carbon with 2 hydrogens on it, makes our 29. The next one up would be 43, and then after that will be 57, and that just means long chains of carbon. So it's nice to remember some of those tricks with your mass spectrum. Name the isomer that produced this spectrum and justify your answer. So what we need to look at is some of these isomers. Excuse me. And this isomers, we want to try and find out which, well, let's just have a look. This one, this guy here, doesn't break apart to make this fragment. So it can't be this one. This guy can't, again, break apart to make this fragment. The 29 doesn't have that fragment. This guy here has got CH2 here, CH2, CH3 here. So therefore, it's most likely going to be propanal. It's going to be the aldehyde. So we're going to say, first of all, 3 marks as well. Let's have a look at that. So 1, it will be propanal. Now, why would it be this one? Well, we've got to justify our answer based on the fragments that can be produced. And this 29 fragment can only be produced by that one. So therefore, propanol, as it does produce the CH3CH2 positive fragment. I need to get 1 more mark for this. I don't like this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I can't think of anything else to say. And then say none of the other isomers do this or produce the 29MZ peak. All right, because even if you look at this, you can't get that peak from these isomers. Let's just have a look. This one here would be, like, if you got carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, this here would be, where am I? That's going to be 28. If I get one of these, so CHO, if I had that, that would be 29 as well. But I guess it's unlikely that that peak would be so prevalent here. It's a very, very high peak. It's the base peak. Really, that high peak is probably where you can see a clear breakage of this one here. Technically, I guess this CHO could come from this section here of our molecule, but it's unlikely that you're going to have a large peak from that where you've got these two hydrogens fragmenting off it as well. So I'm happy with this response. And let's move on. And now we've got NMR. So this one's going to be hard to see on the video because I'm going to have to scroll up and down it. But this carbon NMR, what do I notice from this? I've got two carbon environments. So two carbon environments from that there. Looking at this one here, I've only got one hydrogen environment. So just by quickly glancing at it, I've got two peaks here, two carbon environments, one peak here, one hydrogen environment. So let's have a look at what the question actually is. It says, identify which of the three named isomers produce the NMR spectra on this page. Justify with reference to both spectra. So let's have a look at our isomers again. And knowing that I've got two carbon environments and one hydrogen environment, looking at this guy here is going to have 1, 2, 3 carbon environments. It can't be that one. This guy's going to have 1, 2, 3 carbon environments as well. Our ketone isomer, we've got symmetry about this middle carbon, so therefore this carbon and this carbon are going to be in the same environment. So therefore that's going to be 2 carbon environments. And we've also got symmetry, so there's going to be 1 hydrogen environment. So it's definitely going to be the ketone propanone, sorry. So therefore our first dot point is it will be propanone, and then I need to justify my answer by referencing both spectra. So I need to talk about both spectras here. So I'm going to say the H-NMR spectrum shows one peak, which means one hydrogen environment. Propanone has symmetry, therefore only has one environment there. And then my third dot point is going to be my CNMR. Very similar. I'm going to talk about the same thing basically, number of environments, which means the spectrum shows two peaks, highlighting two different environments, or two unique environments. Again, propanone has only two environments due to symmetry. So even though it has 3 carbons, it's got 2 environments. And just for kicks, I have time, so I'm going to do this quickly, show you what it looks like, and then I might be able to highlight the fact that this and this, so all these are one H environment, and then I'm going to say that this one here and this one here are one carbon, and this guy here, or a triangle, is not the best example here, another carbon environment. I might call that the first carbon environment. I might call this second carbon environment. And that way you can clearly see what I've been talking about here. I've also done a diagram, so it actually proves my point even more so there. It's probably overkill for the question, but at least it certainly is going to give me my 3 marks. I've highlighted my propanone, I've highlighted the 2 justifications in dot points, and I've clearly referenced both of these spectra because that's what the question actually asked us to do. It said identify, which I have, and justify with both spectra 1 and 2. And I think that is my question 5 done. Alrighty, cheers.